Welcome back to the show, and we're diving in more deeply to a topic that I feel like doesn't get enough attention when we are in a visibility accelerator. That's what we are doing this series on right now at the Rise. In order for you to rise to your greatest potential, your greatest impact, your greatest revenue, your greatest fulfillment, your greatest ability to create a legacy that outlives you, I believe, and I've been saying this for weeks now, that visibility is the most important factor. It's the most important thing to focus on because no matter how amazing your craft, your work, your transformation, your writing, your speaking is, if not enough people hear it, see it, engage, receive that transformation, the ultimate effect does not happen. So one of the things that's fascinated me for a long time is like the idea there are coaches like myself and many other amazing coaches who have a mindset first methodology. That's how I've heard it described by several people, which means what? It means that in addition to strategy, in addition to action steps, in addition to getting after it, locking in, doing the work, doing the reps, that there's also a component that needs to happen internally. So the idea of that, whether it's visibility, revenue generation, scaling to seven figures and beyond, becoming a international bestseller, whatever those rises are that we're engaged in, that there is a component of inner work that is potentially, if not, I would say likely, going to be involved with each rise, right? And so when we bring guests on the show in the guest episodes, I'm talking to people about a particular rise that they had, a particular milestone that they hit, and I always ask, what did it take internally at the level of identity, belief, thought, emotion, energy, spirituality, if that's relevant to the person? And then what did it take externally, action, strategy, partnerships, etc. So what we're going to do today is I want to share something that created a breakthrough for me. And I've used this for revenue generation to break the next glass ceiling. I used it to go to six figures, then to $500,000 a year, to seven figures, to multiple seven figures. I've used it for health changes. I've used it. So whether you want to generate $1 million or release weight and create longevity, or you want to get more visible by two times, three times, 10 times. Honestly, I'm working on 100 times because I know that visibility has been a factor in either the growth or not growth of our impact, our legacy, our mission, and our revenue as well. So it's true for me, it's true for you, it's true for all of us. So what gets talked about a lot is this mindset piece, this internal job, this inside job. But people don't always show us how to do it or even facilitate it happening. So what I want to do today is break down the strategy basically that created the mindset strategy that created a huge breakthrough for me that I've now used over and over and over again and facilitated with our clients over and over and over again, hundreds, maybe even we're getting to over 1,000 times in terms of how many people I've used this with, and it has been, I believe, absolutely foundational, and if not essential to these rises, to these, again, these milestones that I mentioned, whether it's a certain stage, a bestseller list, a revenue milestone, a transforming lives milestone. Okay, so what is it? What is this secret strategy? Well, if it's an inside job, how do we do that inside job? And there are many, 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 many amazing modalities for transformation, but I want to share with you the starting point that I use, kind of the ground zero, and then where you might want to go from here. And then we're even going to add to this episode a actual experience of one of these modalities that I'm going to talk about, because again, we can talk about it, but it's different than doing it and experiencing it. And I want you to have both today. All right. So this is really exciting. We've never done this on the show before, but let's give it a roll. So here's the deal. The first step is I was working with a mentor a number of years ago, and she said, well, here's what I do. Every time I have a new goal, I sit down and I write out everything that I'm afraid of in relation to this goal. And then I go find someone who's an expert in clearing fears and, you know, imposter syndrome, whatever it is that comes up. And I dissolve it. I get rid of it. I get some help and I get that cleared out. And then I take the strategic action that's recommended. So it's really a version of that I've evolved into a transformer process that I'll probably do a whole episode on, our actual tool that we use inside of Thought Leader Academy. But let's just do this for today. I want you to think of your next rise, whatever that is. Again, we're in a season of visibility. So if it's like, I want to grow my YouTube to 100,000 subscribers, I want to get on X conference stage next year, I want to be on so-and-so's podcast. Okay. So I want you to write that down. So you're going to need a pen and some paper, a notebook. You can type this, but I think it's really powerful to do it handwritten. So however you want to do it is great. So you're going to write down at the top of your page your big goal. Okay, you've got a goal written down. Awesome. Now you're going to pause this episode and you're going to write down every, not just fear. This mentor we're talking about, she wrote down her fears, but I want you to just let it rip. This is how I like to ask it and have our clients ask it. Anything that your mind is giving you as a reason you can't be, do, or have this. Okay. So it could be fears. It could be other crap. It could be what we're going to do is rouse out even potentially things that have been subconscious. Okay. So what did you write down? Any fear, concern, idea, belief, thought, anything. And this is the prompt. What is any part of me saying is the reason I can't be, do, or have this goal? Okay. So let's take a few minutes and do that now. Okay, pause this episode and really get a robust list. You want a list, just this is not the time to be evolved or spiritual or talk yourself out or logical, just any concern, anything that you can come up with that is you can feel kind of inside you that's saying you cannot be, do, or have this thing. Okay? Okay, amazing. Now, what you can do with this, I will do a whole episode. I will do a part 2 episode on the transformer, which is the process by which I help our clients like move through and transform this list. But what I want to get into today, because it was such a game changer for me when that mentor said she just writes down all her fears and then she goes and finds someone who's really an expert at clearing conscious and subconscious like mindset blocks and essentially a mindset expert. And I did this the year I wanted to go to $1 million and I was at 300,000. So that was the rise. It was like $1 million a year. And I really felt called on a spiritual level to reach this goal so that I could break unworthiness and poverty off my female family line. That was part 1. And then part 2, so I could have a playbook for other people because I wasn't going to do it with ads. I wasn't going to do it with funnels. I wasn't going to do it with anything fancy and invest in PR. So I did this with all organic things that I could do without investing in other experts to help me. And I wanted that playbook for anyone that came to coach with us that wanted to write a book, go out and speak and not have to, hire a hugely expensive PR agency, ad agency, marketing team, understand funnels. I just wanted to figure out an organic playbook for thought leaders. And I felt really called to it. And so it was the summer, it was, June, July of that year. And I had made $300,000 so far in sales. So it was not on track. It wasn't like, oh, just maintain what you're doing. And I was looking at additional strategies, but what I kept getting inside me was to do this process, was to write down all the reasons. So I wrote down things like, I've never done it before. Who am I to create $1 million? That's for other people, not for me. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. My mom said I was bad at with money. I don't even have a plan. Like I have no strategy. I don't have a way to think about from where I am and the context I have and the people I'm networking with, to have any reason to think I could get to $1 million by the end of this year in sales. So I don't have my own playbook. How am I going to, so I had all these reasons, right? And then fear of failure and fear of whatever. I had all kinds of stuff. And so I started exploring what would these mindset modalities be. So I just want to share the ones that have made the biggest difference. I wrote about this in The Science of Getting Rich for Women as well, and interviewed some of these amazing female neuroscience mindset experts so that people who read the book, could avail themselves of this process. But so I want to talk about just what some of the things out there that I've really liked and have really worked for this particular exercise. And as I said, I will do a part 2 episode where I take you through the transformer that I just created myself, kind of downloaded and channeled that worked in conjunction with these or sometimes on its own. Okay. So you're going to get 2 parts on this. It's that important. This is so important because if we don't release the stuff that's in the way subconsciously and consciously, my experience is it will either take a really long time to achieve the goal. It will be hard, like swimming upstream or climbing up a mountain with a backpack full of bricks. We will sabotage. We will go back to the comfort zone because there's a part of us that is in chaotic vibration, right? It's like a part of us is saying, I want 7 figures or the bestseller list or that stage or impacting 1,000 more people this year. And then another part of us is like, ooh, that's a betrayal of your family. Or what about this trauma? Or maybe your 3 generations back grandfather was more visible and got attacked for it and lost all his friends or all his money. And like, there's so many things that could factor in, right? We don't have to understand them all. This list is just to show you that there's some stuff in the way. Okay. So I really like hypnosis. Okay. So it's not scary, creepy, like someone making you dance like a chicken. I'm talking about with a certified, licensed, really heart-centered, very talented practitioner. And I'll put in the show notes are my favorite people that I've directed our clients to and have worked with myself personally. So I think, someone who really does advanced, really powerful hypnosis that you can say, here are the fears, they can roust out even more ones that we can't see. And then they create a customized track that you'll listen to every night, whether you listen to it in the morning or falling asleep for a certain period of time. I listen to mine for sometimes like 90 days. I think it's 21 days usually, but I listen to it far longer than that. And it's just reprogramming. This is just straight up reprogramming our conscious and subconscious mind with worthiness, with capability, with you're allowed, with it's safe, with you're enough, and then the vision having already happened, right? So hypnosis is amazing. There's also body code. Again, I'm going to list my favorite people that I think are phenomenal at this work and that I trust implicitly with my own psyche and have referred hundreds and hundreds of people to. So body code is just an intuitive modality. I do these sessions over the phone when I do them, and the practitioner basically just scans energetically. This can sound really woo-woo. Look, I don't care if it's woo if it works. That's how I feel about it. I love it. I think it's great. I don't have to understand the modality. She figures out where the blocks are energetically, asks me some questions. I usually feel a lot of emotion coming up and sometimes tears because she'll land on something that's, again, old family thing, an old trauma, something that gets to be energetically cleared out. And afterwards, I find myself taking more action. I'm more focused. I'm more committed. I feel a sense of confidence. Same with the hypnosis. Emotional freedom technique, which you're going to get a demo of in this episode. Okay. So we're going to have the amazing Carol Look, who trained with the founder of EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as tapping. And that is a way to release these old limiting ideas and program and align ourselves with confidence, empowerment, that we're worthy and for success. So we're rewiring the brain for success. We're aligning ourselves, body, mind, and spirit with the vision that you've set for yourself around visibility or anything else. So EFT tapping, you're gonna, a practitioner is going to lead you through a series of points that are designed as release points in the body, and you'll follow along. You're going to get to do that right here in this episode, which is really exciting. So get excited. And then double excitement. Has anyone seen the old, it was like probably when YouTube first came out, Double Rainbow? It's like double excitement. If you've seen Double Rainbow, you know what I'm talking about. If not, look it up and enjoy laughing for a few extra minutes today. Finally, the final one I want to cover today is NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I love NLP. I trained in my master's in coaching, was an NLP-based course. It's a neuroscientific-based modality that works with all kinds of different avenues to, again, what? Release limiting ideas, release old traumas that are holding us back and we're still reenacting, let go of ancestral, epigenetic. There's tons of neuroscientific research now that shows that we carry the traumas as well as all the assets of ancestors at least 3 generations back. Neuroscience has proved at least 3 generations are in our DNA. Certain indigenous cultures, shamanic cultures say it's 7 generations. So either way, we are carrying some stuff in here that's not even ours that can create roadblocks and resistance and sabotaging behaviors that we want to get cleared out. So NLP is phenomenal to sort of rewire that timeline, program and future pace, and program in the desired successful future. Okay. So I want you to have some fun exploring the world. There are hundreds. I have done probably over 50 different modalities. I'm trained in 7 of them. And it is an absolute buffet of you finding ones that feel good to you, that feel safe to you, that feel aligned for you, and you can enjoy, and you can find more too at the sciencefgettingrich4women.com portal. You can always check that out. So I just want to offer to you, if you haven't made this a part of your rise, meaning if you haven't made doing mindset work and clearing conscious and subconscious blocks as a regular piece of your next rise, my hope is that after today you will be inspired, and after you have Carol guide us through this particular EFT tapping routine that's going to be to release visibility blocks, because that's the series that we're in, but you can use tapping for anything. I'm hoping that you will make this a part of your absolutely regular every time you have a new goal. You're going to set the goal. You're going to make a list of all the reasons you think you can't be, do, or have it. And you are going to use some kind of modality. Maybe one of the ones I shared today, you could try out or try again if you've done them. Or you can listen to part 2 when it comes out and do what we call the Oracle Transformer process, which is just you and a piece of paper. So you don't have to work with anybody, go anywhere. It's free. And you can use that at any point that you need to transform something. I will tell you that year that I was at 300,000 and had no strategy and no plan and no logical way of being able to make that 7-figure goal. We made that goal. In December of that year, we crossed the $1 million mark in sales. And even more exciting, probably in the long run, I think, was that we have a playbook now that we've taught to thousands of incredible leaders of how they too can go to 6 and 7 figures as an author, as a speaker, as a mission-driven, heart-centered, I want to change people's lives and do it for the reasons of generosity and service, to go to 7 figures as thought leaders. So this is real. This is not just some kind of esoteric thing. Doing the release work is, in my mind, a non-essential component of meeting your goals. So I'm excited for you to have it. I'm fired up for you to try this out. Please write to us and let us know here at the show what modality did you try? What goal are you going for? And let us know when you hit it, because my experience is if you set that goal, you do this releasing work that we're talking about today, use this process, and then you start taking consistent action daily towards that goal based on a playbook of someone who's done it. It's on. It's happening. It's already done. I'll see you next time on The Rise.